After 8 years and over $1 million in profit on Etsy, today I am revealing one of my biggest secrets, and this is my actual Etsy shop. For the first time ever, I am pulling back the curtain to the Etsy shop that really changed my life. And I'm going to give you the #1 key that made it grow so consistently year after year after year. And this key I have not talked about in any of my hundreds of YouTube videos. A lot of you have been wondering, why is Dylan so secretive about her Etsy shop? You also might notice that other coaches or Etsy gurus keep their shops private as well. When I started coaching Etsy sellers a couple of years ago, I wasn't so private about my shop. I was pretty open with it. And I found that within the first couple weeks, about 1/3 of my students started just copying my listings, which wasn't the point, right? I also had a situation 6 years ago where I was very open about my products and my customers and my suppliers. And a friend of mine sent me a message and said, just so you know, I'm gonna open an Etsy shop selling what you sell. Just wanted you to be aware. It really made me a little bit more protective of my success in specific products. So without further ado, my shop is Begonia Rose Co. Okay, this is my sign that went over my laser in my garage. This is something I started when I was actually 25 years old, a month before I turned 26. And if you don't know my story, I was very successful in corporate e-commerce, climbed my way up the corporate ladder, worked for Zappos in Las Vegas, moved up to Seattle, worked for Zulily, and then I married someone in the military. And in the military, you move a lot. And it was really hard to find a job here in San Diego in corporate e-commerce. There was really only one company, Petco headquarters here up in Poway, and I worked really hard for about 10 months to get in there. And I finally got the offer, but in that time, 10 months, I was doing all these different side hustles, dog walking, house sitting, buying things, selling it on eBay, flipping things from Goodwill. One of the side hustles I did was taking something from our wedding that I made. It was a floral letter J. I made this for our wedding, and I took a picture of it just leaning up against a wall and put it on Etsy with a couple words. 2 months later, someone bought it. Then I realized, wow, like now we have to make this thing. The original was made out of foam blocks and toothpicks that held them together. And I ended up really applying everything I knew from corporate e-commerce. And within 2 months of that first sale, I'm making over $10,000 a month. At the point when I finally got that job offer from Petco, I actually turned it down. I found out I was pregnant actually at the same time, and that played a big role in that decision because, I could make $10,000 a month selling, just at the time, floral letters and baby Mobbles and different faux floral products. And I thought, if I just go all in on Etsy, I bet I could make way more than that 6-figure salary from Petco. Fast forward, several years, we're scaling this up to sometimes $50,000 months, doing multi-6 figures in profit every year. My fellow military spouses are asking, Dylan, how are you doing this? How are you making more than your husband? I saw all these people who were underemployed. They have masters, they have a PhD. And I saw on YouTube, there was no real corporate e-commerce principles being taught around this platform. So I started a channel in July of 2022. I thought, I'm just gonna teach what I know, filming on an iPhone, propped up on boxes, editing the videos myself. I did a video a day. My goal was to do that for 30 days. I made it 21 days before I got sick. But fast forward 2 years, we now have a full team. We have about 35 people in the company. We have 13, soon to be 16 coaches on our coaching team where we're providing one-on-one coaching for thousands of Etsy sellers. We're doing 4 coaching calls a week. We also just launched a new software, Etsy. So this is something we've been working on for 7 months. And this is really to make SEO accessible for every Etsy seller out there. So you might be wondering, why are you revealing your shop right now? Well, I am revealing my shop now because 1, it's really hard when you've worked to build up a business for 8 years and then people don't think you actually did it. I put literally blood, sweat, and tears. I probably burned off all of my fingertips with the hot glue gun at this point. I would work around the clock, 7 days a week, up till like 11 o'clock at night, building the website, getting onto Amazon, and so much strategy went into every step of that. The second thing is in order to say yes to some things, you have to say no to other things, right? I'm Christian and I believe that God gives us all gifts and talents and unique experiences. And we all have a unique package of those gifts, those talents, all of those things together, right? There's purpose that comes out of that. Over the last really 2 years, after helping over 3,000 Etsy sellers, I have really felt this is my calling. There's tips and tricks videos on YouTube, but how would they learn the business fundamentals of running an e-commerce business? And I saw the impact of this over and over and over. Every single month, there's hundreds of posts in our community saying, I just quit my job. I just retired my spouse. I just paid for my kids' private education. All of these amazing stories, that type of impact I could never, ever have imagined. And while my Etsy shop, right, that impact was for my family, that paid for my kids' college if they want to do that, that provided for the down payments on our different properties that we have now. This flower crown that I send out to Sarah in Ohio, this isn't changing her life, right? But if I can give someone the business principles and the steps and the strategies to build a business that literally provides food and shelter for their family, I just feel so at peace that like this is what God wants me to do. Now with that comes saying no to things in order to say yes to a calling, right? Over the last 2 years, I actually fully stepped away from my Etsy shop. I hired a military spouse. She basically fit this into her life. And I said, just run with it, do as much as you can. She's fully been running everything. And I've been fully in coaching. In the spring, Cindy, she ended up, as you do in the military, moving. It also is aligning with our move as a family as well. We were moving within the year. We thought maybe fall, maybe spring. We knew, okay, I could not afford to step away from all of our students to now be, back with my glue gun making these things. So we have officially transitioned the brand to a new owner. And I am so happy the way this has worked out because now all the hard work that I put in over the last 8 years can now be a gift to someone else, where it is giving them basically a fully functioning business that is going to change their life and their family. Now, I still have my Etsy shop and I'm looking at maybe doing some print on demand or digital in there, something like that. And now I'm going to use it as a tool and a resource to teach all of you, because now we can take you fully behind the scenes and you can see all of the stats, all of the metrics, right? How a listing actually does $100,000, what that looks like, how you actually get 500,000 visits from Pinterest. So here I am, I call it the flower room. This is where we keep all of our inventory. We literally have every type of flower you can imagine. We have thousands, tens of thousands of flowers, some of them purchased from our suppliers, some of them special makeups where I actually worked with factories and had the flower and the color custom made just for us. And I do want to give you the key that made my Etsy shop grow so consistently year after year and also profitably. The key is building a product mix around getting married, having babies, and passing away. Weddings, babies, funerals. Okay, those things are always going to happen in life no matter what, right? No matter what is happening with the economy, people are always getting married, they're always having babies, they're always passing away. This rung true so strongly during 2020 when a lot of businesses suffered. People's way of lives changed, but they didn't stop getting married, right? They didn't stop having babies, for sure. And they didn't stop, unfortunately, passing away because people are gonna spend money on those things no matter what. So I started with floral letters, right? We know that. And then I added in baby Mobbles. This one is kind of ready to be packaged, but baby Mobbles that hang above a crib. We added in flower wall name signs that go quite large. Hoop wreath name signs. We added in apparel, banners, cake toppers, and I will tell you, this also strongly increased the lifetime value of my customer. They stayed with me for their bachelorette parties, right? Their weddings, their baby showers, their newborn photo shoots, their first birthday photo shoots, and then every single birthday thereon after. And I literally would make like floral numbers for the same customers for up to 7 years. I also was with them through their losses, right? When they lost a parent or a friend or an aunt or a grandparent. And we made items for memorial services and funerals. So building the product mix in this way was such a key to that consistent growth and driving up the lifetime value of our customer. As a business owner, you have to be a good steward of what's in front of you. And you have to constantly think about how your decisions impact different people in your life, especially your family, especially your employees, and of course your customers. So I hope this has been interesting to you. I'm really excited to share a lot more content around scaling an Etsy shop, different frameworks for doing that. And I just want to say I appreciate all of you out there who've recognized why I've had to keep my shop more under wraps and have respected that. Stay tuned, subscribe if you are new to my channel, and stay tuned for more reveals and behind the scenes around this. All right, see you guys in the next one.
I've gone from about $1,500 to $2,000 in revenue a month to currently, before the month's finished, $4,200 in revenue. I only joined multi-six-figure Etsy Blueprint about 4 weeks ago now,